In the shadow of the standing stone, I feel the memory of the earth. Voices rising from the ancient dark, calling fire into rebirth. The old ones speak through breaking light, through wind that carves the sacred lore. They lift the past into the present, to guide the path we walk once more. Bringing the past to the present, for a future flashed in flame, where wisdom flows like rivers old, and the stones recall our name.
And welcome everybody to episode, what will this be, Ricardo? Of the Shaman and the Philosopher. I am Jason Huffman, the Shaman half of this team. Screen name Shaman711. You can find me on X, YouTube, and Rumble, where I am investigating the antediluvian Alabama, which I believe is evidence of a high heat, high energy event in our ancient past, i.e. the Younger Dryas. I have also discovered the location of the Battle of Mobila and uncovered quite a lot about the native history of this area, and you can find my series Finding Mobila on my YouTube page as well. Ricardo, the philosopher side of this, tell us where to find you.
Thank you, Jason. So my name is Ricardo Calvário. You can find me at X at Ricardo Calvário 1, also as History, Myths and Legends on YouTube. And I rarely do it, but this time I'm remembering it. And you have two books, one of them about the ancient megalithic technologies. It's called The Resonant Earth, and another book more about the history of science, consciousness, that is called Stardust, that you both can find at Amazon. And as a final, I just want to promote our sister podcast that is called Universe Unveiled, presented by Sarah and Jacqueline. And who we have today? Who are we going to...
Let's plug them and then we turn it over. They just dropped an episode with Dan Richards. Go find them at Universe Unveiled and see all the good work they're up to. And to our esteemed guest, JeffUpNorth, who Ricardo, I'll let you introduce. I am not terribly familiar with everything Jeff is currently working on, so I'm just excited to get to know him today.
So I knew Jeff first from his videos, and I had no idea that I was going to find him at the AAPS conference this year. So I had looked at him a few times during the day, but I was not sure. And so when I was seated in a Q&A table as a presenter, I was looking at him and said, "Are you Jeff?" And he said, yes, it's me. So we then had a few opportunity to speak in person with one another. So without further ado, Jeff, do tell everybody who you are and where they can find you.
Yeah, so my name's Jeff. Thank you guys for having me on. Absolutely. Then
Thank
you, keeping up on both of you as much as it possibly can. But no, you can find me on YouTube at JeffUpNorth57 or same on X, same thing. Just type in JeffUpNorth, you can find me. But so yeah.
So tell us, what is your saying?
So basically, just trying to follow up and do more exploring on the ancient copper mining in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Being that I live up here, been up here my whole life, and it's literally it's right under my feet. I can go to all these places almost any time I need to or want to, and I've just always been interested in the ancient history side of things. But I didn't start getting into the Michigan ancient history side until about 2 years ago, when I went to my first AAPS conference that I met Ricardo at. Well, the first year before. So yeah, trying to
remember. You spoke very highly of Ricardo. That is one of the interactions you and I had. We were hanging out on somebody else's show that was, I think, Talking Copper, and you immediately pointed out to me that Ricardo was sort of one of the reasons you were on this topic, and spoke very highly of Ricardo.
Oh, don't believe anything he says.
He's not wrong though. I mean, your research into the ancient copper mining between the Bronze Age and when you release the isotopic testing from the copper in the old world and in Michigan's native copper, that's the day that I made my first video. After you posted all that, and I said, okay, there are people that are interested in this, so let's do it.
Sure.
So I can thank you, among a lot of other people, especially that have influenced me in this. But
in that, I was just privileged to be the vehicle of the PR of that on X. Because all credit of that goes to Jeff Lefgren and his research institute and the money and the time that he put it. And I can say, you probably don't know this yet, but they have made new deals, so there's new pieces with provenance and provenience. They are going to be tested real soon. So what we proved before without the pieces being recognized by academics, now they will have not that choice to say, no, we don't know where they came from, because these pieces are completely documented and from provenience and provenance. So there's no way out of it. And the only thing I can say, the Lulia lab is lying, because outside of that, there's not much that they can say if the results come as we expect. And I think your path is very similar to Jason in some points. That is, while Jason is finding artifacts of Mobila and finding places that show clear signs of this antediluvian event, on your side, you're finding these pits. You live in the place where copper was mined. So you have a different reality, but your contact with what you're finding is direct and led into you decided to move into it. So
yeah, Ricardo, thank you. That was one point too, Jeff. I did want to get you to highlight for us was, and point out to everybody, you are in the UP of Upper Michigan. You are in the territory when we're all talking about this copper that may have fueled the Bronze Age. You are of there. Have you always lived there?
Before I was even 1 years old, my family moved me up here from the Lower Peninsula. So I guess you can technically say I'm not a native Uper. So. But 30,
Michigan, it's your home territory.
Exactly, yeah. 30 years of living up here, I think that counts.
Nice.
But, yeah. And it, excuse me. But
so you spend a lot of time going out and exploring, right? Am I understanding that? Some of your
when I get a chance
out in the mines.
Yep. So what I do is I know, because most of the ancient mines in any of the pits have been wiped away due to the copper mining in the mid 1800s, and then iron mining after that. But in a lot of the places, a lot of the mines, there are either when they were surveying it, you can find the old documents saying ancient pits found in these areas, and that's why they decided to mine there. And what I tend to do is I go to where these locations are, and I look on the back sides of the hills, anywhere that looks like it hasn't been disturbed too much by modern mining. And I found quite a few decent sized pits. So found some chunks of copper in a few of them, but no artifacts yet. They haven't really. What I need to do is find one on property that I can actually dig, and not have to worry about any laws getting after me. But
right, exactly.
Dig down through all the mulch and whatnot, because anytime they say that people have dug out the mine pits, they find tools, artifacts, hammerstones, all sorts of stuff, even big chunks of copper at the bottoms as well. So.
Well, I think that probably the area on you are, because from what I've read and heard, some of these pits are just the size of a big ball. So because they didn't need it to dig deep, so there's an enormous area with shallow pits where they were probably only looking, and then they find, and then they go deeper. But there's lots and lots of pits, and those are easy to disappear with relative short period of time, so they won't last long because nature would fill them up. So the fact that you still find them is amazing. So
yeah, it, like you were saying, it doesn't take long for them to disappear. The smaller the potholes is what they were referenced as. And you have every year with the leaves falling, everything rotting underneath. It doesn't take long for sediment and everything to build up over it. Trying to find, I had a smaller pit that we had found a little while ago.
You got some visuals, that would be great.
I was trying to find it because I was I know I was showing the difference between what could just be a uprooted tree and a mine, either a test pit or a pothole, because you can easily sink a shovel right into it.
Yeah,
So if I can find the right one.
Yeah, take over our screen whenever you want, Jeff, and
Okay.
start showing us some stuff, man.
Yeah.
I love taking a look at anything, outdoors, especially when you've got somebody like yourself just of the land out there exploring the land and bringing it to us, man.
While
Yeah.
we look for it, you've been on the year before on the AAPS conference. So you've been there for 2 years. What is the main concept that you absorb in there? Because you had your ideas when you went there, you had some expectations, right? What you heard changed your perspective, increased it. What is your experience with what you learned there about the ancient copper complex?
So the first year, I definitely expanded it, listening to the different theories between the transatlantic trade with the Phoenicians or Minoans, whoever it might be, and then talking to some other folks and their own theories that are based on mainly in the Americas, but with South America or Central America, and not with across the Atlantic. So it's just really it's a lot of fun listening to every single person that has their own expertise on like a subtopic of the same main genre of topics. So there's every time I go there so far, I've had a new theory to try to follow down and see if I can do any research on.
So what we're talking about, for everybody that's not familiar, is what I call the copper conundrum, right, guys? The fact that we've got so much copper as evidently mined in the Upper Peninsula that far outweighs the artifact record over here on this continent, whereas on the Old World continent, we have far less copper mined than is accounted for in the artifact record.
Sure.
So what Jeff is going on about, and Jeff, well, let's hear your sort of favorite theory, is the fact that these two puzzle pieces fix each other if we allow for transatlantic journeys between the two continents.
Right. And so my perspective is, excuse me, listening to or reading a lot of the work that Ricardo's done on the the abundance of Bronze Age tools in Europe versus how much copper could have been mined, and then the same conundrum over here in the New World, America. The only thing that really bugs me is we haven't found that I'm aware of bronze tools or trade goods in America that I'm aware of. Now I'm wondering, so that's the only one part that really bugs me about the whole thing, because I really do believe myself in the transatlantic trade for sure.
So you're saying the lack of copper artifacts that would have been manufactured by the Old World found
That's
in
what
America?
I'm wondering, if they would have brought those over here, or because I also do have the assumption that they didn't trade. Maybe they just used whoever was here for mining. I don't know. It's tough to tell.
There's multiple explanations for that, and we are just speculating. But
Right.
it seems that it's
Probably needs to be turned on.
it seems that whoever is here mining, first of all, it's not a all year or round year operation,
Right.
because the winter stops it. Second, it seems that it was being extracted and immediately removed in the state that it was, so it's transformed into oxide ingots probably and buns. Although we don't find buns in North Europe. I think they only find one in Northern America so far. But they were transformed into oxide ingots and to buns, put it into ships because it was a efficient way. Logistically, it was efficient to store the copper that way. And then it was transported to these large hubs where there's a lot of tin, like Cyprus, like the southern UK, like the Santana Park in after just after the Pillars of Hercules of Cadiz. And then transform into bronze, and then it was how should I say, transported and to the final destination of the consumer around Europe through the Mediterranean. So in here they were not processing the copper into bronze, right? And they started
If they allow for that, yeah, that
Sure.
does answer.
Because
Yeah.
we don't find the kilns, we don't find the furnaces. They are very rare. They don't amount. We can find one or two, but it's not. It doesn't count. So, but I had an idea, and Jason, you have better memory than I. Didn't Vincent report some copper artifacts within?
Yeah,
Like swords and some things like that.
Well, so we do have copper swords and proof, native and first-hand accounts of all of that. So one could ask, where did they get the notion for a sword, right? So that type of thing. Now, Vincent did mention, Ricardo, vaguely I'm with you, some copper artifacts that potentially were old world found mixed in with these old artifacts at Mount Pisgah, something like that. Right?
Yes.
Let's not say that's exactly what he said, but something like that. So you do see these hints, right? When you have the DeSoto Chronicles and they go through that area, there are many descriptions of these wooden statues with swords where copper was then plated on it, right? And weapons that we normally associate with the Western world. So you have hints, of maybe some ancient contact there. I mean, I think what you're saying, Jeff, is like Ricardo and I we briefly shot. Look, if I try to wrap my head around logistics of large-scale operations today, right? And I've got my smelting and all of my operations that have been built for 100 years over in Europe, right? And I learn about a massive amount of raw material that can be harvested relatively easily and really exceptionally purely, right? What processes would I need in place to get my material to where it was, right? So would I come over here and would I bring all the stuff necessary to smelt it, to get it down into ingots, yada, yada? If I'm pulling out, I've seen pictures of these chunks, man. There was even one that was like the size of a bus, right? I mean, right.
29 tons. 29 tons.
If I'm pulling it out of the ground like that, is it more efficient for me to load it right onto my boats? And head back. I don't know, but with that allowance, you do kind of, I think, address that question you're talking about.
Okay, yeah,
and it's time, because it would take time to add the tin. First of all, you had to bring the tin, because I don't know if they were mining tin in the Upper Peninsula at the time. I'm not sure. I don't think they did.
Don't think so, but I think there was a rumor, one tidbit of information that my dad is telling me he heard at some point, that they were mining it here too. But I'd have to really look into that one. That'd be pretty hard to find.
Yeah, I don't say they didn't. I just say that we don't find signs of they using that tin to smelt with copper and produce bronze. So it all points, as Shaman was saying, that if you get your ships in a place that you only have a few months to operate, you want to get with your ships. People have been working and just loading, and you keep bringing ship after ship, and you just load all of this raw copper and take it to the hubs in the old world that would transform it into bronze. So
I mean, that's how we would think today, right? And people often forget we're the same Homo sapiens we were then. We think and make the same decisions and operate the same way. So it just seems that if a route had been established over here, there's hints of Phoenicians and all kinds of things, you can find when you dig. If someone made it over here, and if it was for the purpose of this copper, they would have been totally concerned with efficiency. They would have had, like Ricardo said, a narrow window, right, to operate yearly. And they would have had a journey that not only was not really popular, so there's not like fucking waypoints all along the way, right? And they're probably trying to keep it a little bit secret, if they have found this massive resource that the competitors don't know anything about. So it's very much an efficient process, is the way I would see it.
And each ship would take about 1 month and a half to do the journey. So they have to take that into account too. So when the last ship departs, when he arrives in the New World, it's already covered in snow in the UP. It's already practical to do anything. And then you have the fact that some tribes say that they mined the copper, and then you have another tribes that say they didn't touch the copper. They know that it was mined. They don't know exactly by whom. Right? Sometimes they helped in the logistics of carrying the copper in their canoes until the St. Lawrence, for instance, where the ships were carrying it. But not all the tribes, in fact, from my knowledge, less tribes say that they mined the copper, especially in this period, 4500 to 1000 BC, because they mined the copper since 9000 BC. But in an industrial scale, and particularly in this period of time, they say that only a few tribes say that they mined copper. And that's for their own ornaments and for their own... The rest say we didn't touch it. We know that they were being mined. We might help transporting it, but we didn't have nothing to do with the process. We just got something in return, but we didn't touch that. We didn't mine it. And the fact is, you look at the artifact record, and you have 5 tons of artifacts.
That's
To a minimum of 100,000 tons of copper extracted. Oh, you see?
It got a little heated and you blew it over.
I know, Ricardo got us excited. See, originally I wanted you to be able to see out the window, but I don't have the right lighting in here to make it possible for you to see out the window, so I had to block it.
Yeah, the color is nice like that. It's a good
So,
contrast.
Ricardo, that was an interesting point before I knocked my stuff over here and tried to derail this. Was okay.
Oh, I thought it was my
so-
power.
No, it's a good point. It is your power, bro. You just threw the screen, man. Look at that magnetism. He's growing that beard out, Jeff, is what it
You
is.
see that, yeah.
So, right. If with the large amount of copper we know was harvested in the Upper Peninsula, right? And we know through the artifact records some of it was native, because there are native copper artifacts all over the continent. You would expect then, with that large mass that had been extracted, there would be traditions amongst the native peoples that have been here that long where all of them knew about it, right, Ricardo? You would think all of them would be like, yes, we mined this shit. We had a production, facility up here that handled this massive amount of stuff, right? You would find some sort of more of a tradition instead of, Ricardo was pointing out, sort of a spotty, yeah, we dug a little,
Right.
yeah, we had some, It's a good point.
Well, it's just like when the French, or no, the Jesuit priests came across in the 1600s. The Indians were saying we didn't mine it. We just use it, but we didn't mine it. But you can find mountains of gold west of here. Basically, is what they're telling them. So
Yeah, and when we talk with Rick Osman, I think we're going to talk with him next Friday. You'll find that he has very wealth of information and data that can be verified about. There's not only copper, because with the copper normally came silver and other precious metals, right? And those precious metals are the ones that keep these copper mines in the States now working, because the copper that they're taking out, it's not worth the exercise. But the silver and gold that they take that comes with the copper, right, makes the copper just like we don't have any use to it. We sell it, but it's not the way we make money. If it's just copper, I wouldn't mind this. I wouldn't doing this massive work because it wouldn't be worth it. So we don't know for sure what other metals they took, or if they were aware of at least of the gold, because it can be difficult to see it in the bronze. I'm not sure, but the silver would be clearly distinguishable from the bronze, the veins of it. But we don't hear about it. We just hear about the copper. But the point you're making about the Jesuits is that the main problem, and you know this, that the opposition that we have in regards to what happened to the copper is the fact that they don't want to recognize transoceanic travel before Columbus, because of geopolitical reasons, because of ownership of the land, because of the rights to invade it and to exterminate everybody and take over it. The same reason why Portugal wanted me that the Azores were occupied at least since the Neolithic, because we find megaliths in there, right? So if those were
What you gonna do?
We're gonna get coffee and then go just take photos.
Sorry, guys, I had a daughter step in.
no
Keep
worries,
rolling.
no worries.
Do you
Let's
think
see, while
you
we're
might
waiting
let me
here, I
borrow a
got-
card since you're doing the podcast on your gas?
we were talking about how big chunks of copper were.
Yeah, all right. Well, I can just come meet you.
But that's at Michigan Tech.
Yeah,
No,
well, I was
I
was
suppose
there.
you were up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go into that museum?
Yeah, I went into the museum. It's
That's
awesome.
That's a
Yeah.
cool museum.
My only complaint about that museum is they don't use glass that is proper for taking pictures. So you try to photograph the things that are there and you get the glass instead of getting the
I was gonna
pieces.
say, I noticed that you had to find the right angle, and then the picture kind of looks stupid. But yeah,
But the amazing pieces they have in there.
that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then I think they only had what three copper artifacts, and tucked away in the back of the room.
Yeah. And,
It was
and
the
this
last
one,
exhibit I found.
and this one, I think it's 9 tons, right? This piece here. I can't remember. I think it's 9 tons. If I
Might be.
And the one that the AAPS tried to preserve was 29 tons on a single piece. So a single piece had the whole production of Cyprus from 4500 to 1000 BC in one piece.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Jason is having sad problems today.
You're gonna have to edit this one, dude.
It's like the wind. It's like someone's probably opening a door across the house and it's sucking the wind right through.
There you go. Problem solved.
No, so yeah, you can see the trees blowing out there. We've got a serious cold front moving through. So yeah, a lot of doors are open. We're moving plants, putting them inside, trying to keep them from freezing.
Yeah. No, we just see the glare of the window. Don't worry, we can't see anything.
I don't know if you can see my window up there at all, but no, it's snowing still. It's coming down pretty good.
Yeah, in here it's snowing too.
Now that the shaman is done completely derailing the conversation, along with his little shaman daughters needed money to go spend.
In the spiritual world, there's money too?
No, there's not. Speaking of, you might as well wave. Speaking of.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hello.
It's the line before the empty line.
Okay, so are you going to travel? I'll come meet you when I'm done and I'll fill you up.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Love you.
All right, love you.
7
Carry on, gentlemen. Yes.
So where were we? Because now I am completely oblivious of what
I'm
we're
not
talking
sure.
about. Oh, the point I was going to make. The fact that they try to deny this transoceanic contact is denied by many artifacts that Jeff had the opportunity to look up close, and he saw presentations about them. The thing is, they look at these artifacts that show completely European culture, be it Phoenician or Minoan or whatever. They just say they're fakes. So they are all dismissed as fakes, all of them. Right? The same thing that happened to Vincent in the Pishka figurines that Emirates was trying to. In this case, they are all considered fake because they are all taken down by people that is not recognized as archaeologists. They're found by normal people. Some of them were looking for something, but they didn't expect what they found. So, Jeff, from the pieces that you've seen, and I think you even took some photographs of it in the APS.
Yeah.
Which ones caught more your attention as something that is completely alien to the North American territory?
So especially the Michigan tablets. Those ones, ever since I heard about those, really interested me. And then that first year I went to the AAPS, so in 2024, Wayne May had some there. And I wasn't into this diving down the holes as deeply as I am now, so I didn't really take a whole lot of pictures last year. But this year I did. If I could find it, I got a hole right here. There. So this one's my favorite. I don't know why.
All
Either
right.
this one or one of
This
the.
is all new to Jason, I think. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this is most definitely.
Yeah, it's a bad picture to zoom in on. So yeah, that one I believe was pressed in clay, and these are in the collection of Wayne May. This is one of many tablets they found either in clay, on slate, in copper. Along, I think they said 10 to 30,000 artifacts. They figure they were found in the mid 1800s.
What am I looking at here? This is all new to me. So, like I'm a 10-year-old. What do we got here?
This is like I said, a pressed baked clay plate.
It's clay, okay.
Yep. That was dug out of a burial mound in one of the many burial mounds in, I think it was Lower Peninsula of Michigan, or any surrounding areas such as Ohio.
That's
Could you zoom in so we can see some detail?
Yeah. So that's a little zoomed in, but I could zoom
Is
out
this
a bit.
your picture?
Yeah, I took this picture. They had it on display at the APS, one of a few.
So one of the things they use to dismiss this immediately is that symbol on top. Right there. Because there was no language. So it has to be a fabrication.
So they think it's what? I mean, it looks like an H, what we call an H today, but it's obviously not a letter, is it?
Well, some of these species have 9 types of alphabets in them. 9.
Huh.
That's how universal they are. So imagine Mount Pisgah having all these cultures together living in harmony. In this plate, you see 9 different languages
Scripts.
in the same plate. So
What do we know about those scripts? Anything?
Most people consider them. So there is Ogman, Phoenician, Minoan, some Greek. One of the things about these tablets is they are dismissed in terms of Ogham. They are dismissed because Ogham was only invented in 18, but the pieces were found like 30 years before, right? So how do you?
Yeah,
It's hard to put one thing with the other, but I'm not saying that they are real. I'm not, but I'm just trying to debate the fact that they are dismissed, and the arguments used to dismiss them are more about the religion of the person that found them than what they actually represent.
What is that? Looks like slate or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a slate.
Yeah, it's upside down here, but that's the same symbol right there. And a different.
Oh, okay.
Different person did
I
it, you
see.
can tell. Can't remember what this one was. Yeah, like Ricardo was saying, is they found them before these other languages were even known to the world. Just like the Newberry tablet, it had letters and symbols and stuff that were Phoenician or kind of cuneiform or Phoenician type.
Yes.
And they weren't widely known to the world until 1899, early 1900s, or even the 1950s. I can't remember exactly which date it was, but this was found way before any of that. So how are a bunch of farmers and loggers out in the middle of Michigan's Upper Peninsula finding this stuff, or let alone making forages if no one knew about these symbols or symbology?
And we only
So
have.
are we able to decipher any of these scripts, right? So like when I see that script a minute ago, or do we know what it says?
They have making efforts to use. They are now using. I think we saw that in the presentation, right? They are now using AI, purpose-built or teached AI with all of these ancient letters and their variations, and they are trying to catch what is written in them and what kind of information can be. Well, in case of James, what is his name? James May? No, sorry.
Wayne.
Wayne
May, yep.
Wayne May. He has some translations because he's kind of an expert in these ancient languages. And if you look him online, he has some translations from these tablets. But they
Looks
are
like
amazing.
an odd
They are amazing.
hieroglyphic. Yeah.
They are amazing. The fact that we have these species today is just because they were not found by someone under the Smithsonian or any other institution. They were found by normal people that didn't hand over the tablets. They just say, look what I found.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to look at them, come to my house and I'll show them to you, but you can't take them because I found them.
Sounds like my route, Ricardo.
Damn.
Because otherwise they'll be all gone. For instance, this one's, they put talc on top of the stone because it brings up what is depicted.
I
on
see.
them.
I see.
They are fascinating. Can you rotate that left clockwise? I think you can
It's
do
like-
it with
So that looks like somebody giving instructions on the script.
Take it a second here. Hold on.
sure.
Okay.
They're
So-
fascinating. These tablets and the drawings
Those are
that they
cool,
have,
yeah.
they're fascinating.
Yeah, and the some of the first few people that were finding them, what was it, Soper and Savage? I think they were the Soper Savage collection. They're called frauds, but they never tried to sell them. They never tried to make money off of them, from what I'm aware. They wanted to donate them or have people do research on them. The Smithsonian immediately said these are fakes, and you can tell they're horrible fakes. I mean, they look childish.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying. Do you think they just built the pyramids first try? Someone had to
Yeah,
start
right.
somewhere with this stuff.
Right.
Well, that's what archaeology defends. That the most amazing, the better constructed things are the things that are oldest, and then it decreased. So it's like Göbekli Tepe. They got there and they invented agriculture and construction of the sites all at the same time. It all happened at the same time. Just
Well, yeah, but see, like even in Egypt, that doesn't make sense to me. The pyramid. Here's what bugs me about the pyramids, dude. You've got the Great Pyramids, and they're precision and they're perfect. Look at every single pyramid they built after that one. It looks like it's a mound of bricks that's falling
Yeah, pretty
apart.
much.
It's dust. They were copying what they found there.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
until you can explain to me why they turned to shit making pyramids after they made the first ones, I just can't get my head around
Well,
that basic
you just
problem.
need to you just take it or reject it. But if you read the words of Sonsis of Sais when he's speaking to Solon the Elder, he says to him that those things are not theirs. They're just inheriting.
Yeah, they found them.
They're just
they inherited
inheriting.
them. They found them. I don't care what you say about me. Look, if you believe what everybody says about the pyramids, that's like me telling you I've got this iPhone 17 right here, and I just made it. It's my first one. It's not the 17. It's the first one. Okay. Come back tomorrow. I'm going to make an 18, and I hand you a Nextel. You know. Here, this is the new one. It makes
Yep.
no sense.
No, not a chance. All right, I got her flipped around here.
Okay, and while you do that, it's another matter that we haven't discussed in here in the Shaman and the Philosopher is the carbon dating, because the carbon dating is showing us the last or the oldest sign of occupation. It's not the last occupation; it's the last sign or the oldest sign of occupation. The fact that they find something that can be dated on a certain layer, it doesn't mean that it started there. It means that it was used enough for some residue to have been left behind. But we are dating things from what we find in this the carbon that can be dated on these samples. And they say, okay, if we find this in this layer, and this is the oldest that we can find until the point we dig, so this determines the age of the site, when I don't think it does at all, because it's just a sign of the last occupation. That's all it means.
That's common sense, I think. I mean, look, there's an interesting story with my Mobilla artifacts, man. So, all of that metal was melted, right? So I knew intrinsically, because I'm finding the charcoal, in the metal, that could be carbon dated and we get our date, right? Well, after I had found my first, maybe truckload full, I kept it in my garage and there was a house fire. Right. And so everything got coated in carbon and ash. Right. So now when you come to my house, you'll see very separate sections for the Mobilla artifacts. Right. There's all the ones that experienced the house fire. And then there's everything else, because I just knew instantly that if they'd been burned, chances are the carbon date's going to show that and not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's weird. That would happen. It's like someone new. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm fine.
Yeah, that DeSoto shit was cursed. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
Look at that plate. Look at that.
Yeah, so I was able to flip it finally here.
Well, now that's cool.
Yep. Got all sorts of stuff in there going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one that was sideways. Yeah, and it looks very much like some instruction happening there at the top or something, right?
Yeah. They say it's childish, amateurish, and who made them were clearly unskilled amateur. So, but if Jeff's zoom in any of those sections,
Whoever did that piece on the left was not unskilled. Yeah, that one.
Square hole.
Yeah.
Elephant looks like. Or
yeah,
mammoth.
an elephant, yeah.
Yeah.
Mammoth, maybe, right? It's got tusks.
Looks like the face that was on that larger clay tablet right there. That Indian,
Yeah.
whoever.
Mhm.
There's the mark. Yeah, and you see it on all these tablets everywhere.
It almost looks like a tent or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's almost the sign for A in Egyptian hieroglyphs. That vulture in the second line of the text.
Yeah.
This one? No.
No, the second line of
Second
the text.
line.
Beneath the first image. Go. Yes, the second line. You find a vulture there. Go right on the second line.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, there's a lot to take in when you're looking at it.
Yeah, what is that bird doing down there? Breathing fire on him? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, who knows? There's all sorts of. And that one looks like that's some ship.
This is a ship. Yeah. This is rejected. Obviously, he has a ship.
Yeah.
There were no such things as ships because we are primitive.
Yeah, this is the
Wow.
next side over. This one's on copper. I think this one's
So
on
now
copper
all of
as
this
well.
stuff was found together. Is that correct?
In different places, not all. Some of them
Oh,
all
okay.
together. There was a place called Burroughs Cave. I
Burroughs
think.
Cave, yeah.
Where there's
I've heard that,
thousands,
yeah.
thousands of those things found, right?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But it has all been dismissed as forgeries and falsifications, and where no one profit from them, not by fame, not by money, but look at that.
Interesting with the Sphinx.
This,
That's
this,
definitely old world imagery. Yeah.
if this was found in the old world, in an ancient Assyrian city, it would be praised beyond. Like, look at what we found! It's amazing, but it was found in Northern America, so
Yeah.
we can't
Well,
explain it.
my one question, looking at all this before we move on, right, is whether I don't know enough whether to say it's fraud or not, right? But I
Yeah.
do see the quantity you've already displayed, and we do know that you say these people weren't trying to, these weren't found
Yeah.
on a black market trying to be passed off and sold. These were people that found cool shit and wanted to show it off, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And okay, so then I look at the quantity and I go, well, somebody did spend a lot of time. I mean, that's a lot of time right there, whether it's faked or not, right?
Right. Yeah.
That without a machine, that is a lot of time right there. Why am I going to all of that time if all I want to do is have friends over for dinner and look at it, right?
Look at the Mohai right there.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and they always say, "Oh, they're found in the late 1800s," but these were found way before this guy was finding them himself. And like I said, if they found they figured 10 to 30,000 artifacts, he would have never had any time to even find this stuff. If he was making them all. Let alone, then how are you supposed to bury them on every single mound across the entire state in surrounding areas?
So what
And
this is pointing is that when they say there is not a shred of evidence of any contact before Columbus exists in North America.
Yeah, any shred of evidence they haven't dismissed.
So the 30,000 pieces, none of them is real. Not one single one. There was
Even if one.
all of these people had the same idea to forge these symbols and these artifacts just for religious purpose, because they attach this to Mormonism, right? Because you see, because the Mormon community is somewhat invested in researching this because it might prove some of their history, and so immediately they are completely discarded because of that.
Yep. And you see the same bird
Yeah.
on a lot of them. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like I said, I can't get over the time. I don't know whether they're real or fake, but somebody would have to explain to me how 30,000 got manufactured by a handful of people, spread all over the land, and then discovered in a matter of a couple of years before industrial machinery. It's kind of reminds me of the Egyptian vases thing. I saw our good buddy Rubate put a post up today, and he said it quite succinctly. He said, look, until somebody can make one and put it in front of me that meets all the specifications of these, until somebody can take some granite and produce one and set it in front of me that looks like all the others, shut the fuck up, right? Shut up until, why are you telling me it's fake if you can't make one, right?
That's why they're telling you it's fake, because they can't make one.
So it's like this stuff. How are you telling me it's fake unless you can explain to me precisely how they were all manufactured and spread around? All right. You can't just tell me they're fake. You got to explain to me how these intricate pieces got made by these individuals 150 years ago and spread around. And then I'll listen to you. Until then, I should have an open mind, right? Because I don't see how that happened.
Do you know that those discs that are made of schist and they are folded like this, they have 4 folded blades?
You're talking about the Cebu disc,
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to work on schist? Because it flakes. Flakes. You cannot shape schist as you shape granite by taking piece by piece. It doesn't work. It will break. And when people try to say, oh, this has this functionality or that function, that's as brittle as you can get in a piece of stone. Even some kind of air pressure would be enough in time to break one of those blades, because schist is extremely brittle. So let alone starting to think how you could shape a round. You can't make round shapes on schist.
That disc is mind-blowing, man.
It doesn't work. You try, grab a piece of schist and try to carve it in any way or fashion in order to make something that looks like this, like an angle, like a folded piece of paper. You can't do it. So whatever they was being used to transform that piece of stone, we have no idea what it was. No idea whatsoever, because we just can't do it. It's a material that doesn't allow that to happen. It's like it was heated in a specific way and then just okay, it's folded. You cannot ban schist.
Like you said, Ricardo, they all have answers and we have questions, right? we have questions about all this, and what I've noticed engaging, on the social platforms and all, is they're not going to like you anytime you put forth something that they don't have the answer for, right? This circular metal deposit that I show everybody, right?
That's neat.
I get blocked because I show one of them and they go, well, while exceptionally rare, that could happen naturally. And I go, okay. And I show them a picture of the second one down the hill, and I go, all right,
the
well, how this
third
one
and the
happened?
fourth.
And then I get blocked, and then I get called woo peddler, and all because they don't have an answer. There is no,
Tell us the truth, Jason. You are producing that AI video, aren't you? It's all over. Admit it right here.
I found a dude on YouTube last night, Jeff. I found this producer who he's got this little site called Meltology, right? And so he's going around showing all these big rocks that show signs of high heat, right? Just like I have been documenting in antediluvian Alabama. He's got to get together Saturday. I'm going to go meet him. My point is, I showed him the picture of the circular metal deposit with me standing by it. He came back, man, on Facebook like right away. He threw the same picture up. He's like, took this in 2023.
Nice.
So there's another guy out there that thankfully I'm finding is noticing the same stuff, and he's been to some sites I haven't. So we're going to go check them out together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Anyway.
Sure.
I derailed us there. It's true though. It's all these questions that we are interested in. All of us. That's kind of why we're here, I think. And I don't understand people that don't have rooms for questions. It just irritates me.
Well, it is it has become, unfortunately, a tradition in the materialistic side of science to be unable to say I don't know. Right? Either I have an answer and everybody's wrong, or just everybody's wrong. But it's never I don't know and you might be right. Right? Let's look at what you're saying, because we don't know. The problem is they always know. So they can always justify everything, right? And it's
it's beating your head against the wall, basically, is what it is.
I give this example often. Imagine that you are a researcher. You are funded to go and investigate a site and research it, right? And when you are researching this site and conducting your experience, you find something that is really out of this world, right? And instead of pursuing it, all you do is write what happened into a piece of paper, publish it, and move to the next site. It's like winning the lottery, looking at the ticket. Oh, this is cool. Rip it off and put it into the trash, because let's buy another ticket, right?
Yeah.
So what is the reasoning of these people? What are they looking for? Is it solutions, real solutions, deep, profound, that might include from material to spirituality, or are just willing to use the money that we're giving to a fund to conduct the tests, write the results, and move on to the next one? There is no passion.
I see what you're saying. That's where you're
There's
going.
no passion.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of passion, Jeff, I want to see a couple of your videos from out and about. Either I know you mentioned us seeing the divots. You also you had video of some mounds, and I know one video I saw yours where you were banging on some copper yourself, trying to get knowledge of that experience.
Yeah, that like I said in the video, my hand and my wrists hurt for that whole next week, which is halfway doing that, I realized it was a mistake because I'm a carpenter for a living. So I'm like, that was really dumb. But I will do
Can't
it
use
again.
it now.
Yeah, but I would advise you to try and get a little bit bigger because you're a very skinny, short guy. So
I know.
that was very taxing for you. So
I really got to work on that. Yeah.
Let's get you a pulling lever or something, man. Work smarter, not harder. Let's think outside the box. Were they using
Right.
their hands really, or was there a nice
There's
wood?
if they
rigged
were,
rope?
they had so many busted bones and were just probably
and
had
have you
been
seen the
biggest
size?
people on earth.
Have you seen the size of the stone hammers they want us to believe were used to process to hammer the copper?
Yep.
Some of them you lift them 3 times and then say, well, "Fuck this." I'm going home.
Yeah.
I want this. Okay.
Yeah, I think one of the larger ones they found was I think like 45, 50 pounds. No, imagine swinging that even like you said 2 or 3 times. Now do it a whole day, every day, all summer long until the snow comes. That just seems completely unfeasible.
And the vibrations,
Something-
you are hitting something that is malleable, but it's still solid, right? So it's boom on you. With it's either the people were much tougher than we are now, and I don't doubt it, but I still think they are completely ceremonial. There's no way that was
at
going to
minimum,
be
you would
used.
have found a tree and tied a rope around that 40-pound rock and just kept lifting it and dropping it. You know, I mean,
True. Yeah, maybe kind of like what they did with stamping in the 1800s and.
They do have grooves,
Mm-hmm.
right? That could be used to put a rope around it.
well, look, you guys here's what I learned when I first started going out in the creeks, right? And just forcing myself to spend time out there with nothing but, basically what I could scavenge is when you do that, you do start to appreciate a little bit more about who humans would have been, even whatever, any amount of time ago, we're the same human, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't buy. There's this narrative that wants us to believe that we were nothing but throwing rocks at each other until 6,000 years ago, right?
Yeah. No.
Okay, if I throw me by myself on a creek, right? I know that within a week, right? I have some systems in place. I've set up some very basic machines and pulleys and things to make my life easier, right? And anytime I set about a problem, I don't just take it and attack it and go, oh, this is the only way to do it, right? They would have done the exact same thing, is all I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. And then remember, right after I did that too, I was talking to him. He's like, they figured out how to fix that. They took steel and put it on a handle and made a hammer instead of a rock.
Right?
I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Well-
next time maybe I will go a little more modern with the tool. We'll
Right.
see. But
I
yeah,
think
no,
the problem that you had with the stone is you didn't have an anatomically usable stone properly. You use a stone like they used, or just a stone? What did you use? I can't.
so the
remember.
stone I was using for a hammer, I actually
got the
found
video?
right on the edge of the pits, right on the edge of a mine pit, ancient mine pit in the Keweenaw. Yeah, I got the video right here.
I think this
All
is
right.
great. I mean, whatever it did to you bodily, Jeff, I just like the fact that you took the time, mate. You wanted to get yourself
Oh,
in
yeah.
the head of those people and show us all, what you did.
All right, let's see so this is the rock right there. I don't know if you can hear it.
And transmits all the vibrations to your arm too.
Yep. But yeah, no, that one I found right on the edge of what we figure is an ancient pit that we were hiking about a week before, my dad and I. And
Nice.
it's right there. It looks like something. Well, obviously, you can bang copper with it, but
No,
So
it's a
we
great
saw
looking
maybe-
hammer. So, yeah,
yeah, no, I figured that
great looking stone.
It's gonna be set the copper on here, and so yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Well, Jeff, you just proved it's possible to build the pyramids with stone. Because I saw you just hammered twice, and there was a mark on that stone, and you just hammered it twice.
No, they used copper chisels to make everything. I don't know. There's a lot of granite that's harder than copper.
I think they had a copper plumb bob they used to line it up to true north as well, and to incorporate the circumference of the Earth in the measurements. They probably had a fucking copper GPS satellite.
They're
Fucking copper shit.
yeah. So
Especially
this is,
for the diorite. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's the
Yeah,
best
it's-
stone for that, for
Well-
copper chisels.
I'll let you know next week. I'll be going there, flying out there Saturday to Egypt. So
Oh yeah, you told me.
Oh, are you now?
keep an eye out and see if maybe I'll try to sneak some copper chisels with me and try to bang away at their
Well, tell us
I'm
about
kidding.
that. That's exciting, Jeff. What are you doing in Egypt, man?
Yeah, I'm actually joining Michael Collins and
Excellent.
Forbidden Frontier crew. Wow, Forbidden Frontier crew. I went to Peru with them last year and became friends with all of them. And Mike
Oh, that's
said
awesome,
that he's
dude.
going to Egypt. I said, "Yep, let's go."
So, what's the game plan in Egypt?
Oh, we'll be doing the pyramids, Saqqara, Karnak, all that stuff. The new museum, that Egyptian museum that they got going.
Do
with
get
all
a
that.
good footage of it because we want to see it.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
say,
no,
we're going to
I'm
have to
gonna-
have you back, man, and
I'm
show
gonna-
off everything.
Yep.
Then
I'm
you
gonna-
can give us some true firsthand experience. I mean, we're just talking about these things, you know? So
You know
that-
what? Jacqueline gave me a fact yesterday that I didn't know. So how long was to create the museum? Was 13 years? She has her phone so she can hear me. But I think they took 13 years to create that museum, the structure. But the pyramids only take 20.
That's a good
I'll have
point.
to remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were doing, but they were sleeping on the job for sure because the
Yeah, I'll
pyramids
bet you they
took
didn't.
22 years to build or something like that. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. Did they quarry all the materials for that and ship it down the Nile on a reed boat
yeah.
to the museum?
Right.
So
Who
that's what
knows?
slowed us this time. We were using trucks and cranes and all of that stuff. It slowed that dam down. It's just
I like
terrible.
the fact that the ramp would have had to been like, what is it, like 2 miles long? You know, they say
Mhm.
And
if I made
use
a ramp to
more
hold
material.
the weight to get the bricks to the top, yeah, it would have used more material and had
Than
been
the
like 2
pyramid
miles
itself.
long. Right.
Well, and then there's
So-
another. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Jeff. All you,
Oh,
man. Go.
I was just saying on the topic of building the pyramids. There's another theory I know they were saying that they confirmed, or maybe they had some thing on was the hydraulics using water to push up the blocks through the center of the pyramid to the top and set them.
Mm-hmm.
I only read a little bit into that. I don't know how much truth there is to their theory, but
Well,
it's
it's just a
interesting
matter
thought.
of what it would be more complicated: the pyramid to build, or a system that creates hydraulic pressure enough to raise 4-ton blocks up to the height of the pyramid. Because I think there are problems that are not so different in
And to
complexity.
set the chevrons in
Yeah,
place,
so-
and it's just, don't buy it.
The one that took popularity is they found in the corners of the pyramid, they found these hollow spaces and then some kind of small tunnels, and they start saying that the pyramid was built like in a circle. They were going in circles until they got to the top, and that they just filled the corners and the tunnels in order to make it look like a single structure. They tried to push that a few years ago, and it's still being spoken in academic realms. It's not proven, but it's as far, because they had to go away from the ramp because the ramp was too absurd, as Jason just described.
It's just absurd.
So the sonar images that they got show that there is this path through the whole pyramid around it inside until the top, and they say that there was the ramps were the pyramid itself going around the pyramid until the top. You see my point?
But you probably couldn't hold the right angle. Anyway, not to get us too deep on the pyramids until Jeff gets there. If you come back and tell us about it. I think you couldn't keep the right angle if you were, that's why it had to be 2 miles long, because whatever the angle is that you had to hold 10 degrees, I don't remember what it was, right? For the physics to work, it had to be that long because the angle is so minimal. So you
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
have
it
distance.
is shallow. The angle is shallow going around the whole pyramid
Right.
because the pyramid
Okay.
is so big. The angle is quite shallow. The problem is they didn't find the tunnels all around the pyramid, like in 40
Right.
to 60% of it, but not all of it. But they think that if the ramp, it's the evolution of the ramp theory, is that the ramp was the pyramid itself. So they were going around each corner until they got to the top in a shallow inclination. So if it is true or not, I don't think we'll ever know how they made it.
Right. One of the
Yeah.
many theories.
I just think
Jeff.
that
Jeff.
Go on, Jason. Go on.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to hear about Peru. He said he's been to Peru,
Yeah.
right? You said you went with Michael Collins. I was just today checking out Jay Anderson's video he just did down there
Okay.
in Peru. So you may not have seen it yet. Anyway, I'm just
I haven't
intrigued
been on
by
much.
I'm intrigued by Peru, and I'd just love to hear some about your firsthand take on it, man, since you've been.
So it was the first actual ancient megalithic uh, location I've ever been to in Cusco there.
Yeah.
As soon as we got off the plane, you're looking around like this is a whole different world than what I'm used to, you know? South American Andes Mountains and all that. The altitude difference hit me immediately. I wouldn't say I used to it right away, but you kind of dealt with it. And
Did
we went up
Coke
to
help?
the coca did, yes.
Yeah. The leaves.
The leaves did, yes.
Yeah.
And the tea. That actually, it was mind blowing how well that actually helped. I don't know if it's a placebo thing where it's in your head or what, but
Right.
it really made you feel a lot better.
Right.
So the first place we actually went to when we got there is we got there early, so a lot of the group was up at Zone X or Zona X, and I see there's a few people that started posting on X earlier. I can't remember who. I think it might have Aaron Hain. I always forget his last name, but they were
Zona X. Gotcha.
yeah, yep,
Yeah.
and
Nicky
that
and
was
John spoke a lot about it.
yep, yeah, that's where we went right away, and that place that's weird. It's just you got these caverns kind of going through, and there's just big chunks taken out of the wall and big square pieces taken out of the wall.
Mhm.
Some are squared out, and then there's like another notch inside of it. And you can tell it's a lot older than some of the other megalithic sites, which Sacsayhuaman was just down the hill from there. And these rocks looked a lot older, a lot more weathered than anything further down the mountain. So that was pretty neat.
So what's your observational, when you're looking at that stuff,
Mhm.
what do you explain it to yourself? Do you have an idea as to what you're looking at?
No. I have no idea how in the hell they could even do that. Especially the rocks at Sacsayhuaman. They're as big as
Yeah.
a small house, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and the rock that I used for an anvil in my video making those copper points, that was the size of, I don't know, a little bit bigger than a basketball. I carried it 150 yards and it damn near killed me.
Yeah.
I had to carry
Yeah.
it, pick it down. I felt like I was lifting Atlas stones or a strongman competition or something. It was unbelievable. So I can't imagine how they can haul these stones that are multi-tons.
Right.
Well, it's a very rich environment in oxygen. Right? So
So, right, it's the coca leaves, no doubt. The coca leaves. Cocaine built Miami and Sacsayhuaman, right?
Yeah, built Peru, built the.
So here's my question.
Mhm.
When I watch the videos, not having been there, but when I watch the videos, like watching Jay's today, I see echoes of what I find in North Alabama. And let me just kind of explain what I mean by that, right? I see all of these large stones with these signs of what you can only use the word melting, right? I try to get technical and say signs of high heat and high energy, right? But that's the way these things look, giant things that were potentially in another shape and have seen a lot of damage from heat and energy, right? Well, when I look at Peru and I see those weird stepped, rocks go into nowhere and then right beside it a bunch of running, I see what could possibly be explained by something that was in a much different form, and then it met some sort of cataclysmic, high energy, high heat event. And now what we're seeing is the partial form, the remains of what was. Does any of that ring true with kind of what you were seeing there? Because see, up in Little River Canyon too, those stones you talk about at Sacsayhuaman, see the whole bottom of the canyon, dude. You can go jumping from like stone to stone, and they look just like the walls of Sacsayhuaman.
Really?
They're giant, size of cars, and in different shapes, and rounded on edges. So
cool.
my mind starts to see, okay, because Peru, we're on the same continent. That are we looking at records of the same event, right? And that's just kind of what I'm curious about, and can't wait to get down there and see for myself.
let me
So
just
this is
add,
at Zone
Jeff,
X.
let me just add that some of those huge blocks of stone that are carved with steps, and some of them are turned upside down.
That's what I mean.
You've
Yeah,
seen
like
them, Jeff?
energy.
Yep. I got it later on down somewhere in my photos here, but
Great, let's go.
yeah, this is at Zone X or Zona X, X, whatever you want to call it. That's my buddy Andy. He joined us down there.
Ah,
Yeah,
those
he's
are
about
huge.
5'11", 6 foot. So yeah, and me. So yeah, like I said, there's like these tunnels and caverns just kind of going through.
Tell me one thing. Does this tunnel serve...
Now, see right there, Jeff. Stop right there. I don't mean to be telling you
No,
what to
you're
do,
good.
but see, this looks just like, outside of those steps, Ricardo. Think of any of my videos from North Alabama when you're walking through, just like this.
It does.
Sorry, it's really cool. Keep going, Jeff.
I just want to ask Jeff if, from his perspective, does this serve as a traveling function, or you can go easily around them without having to work to carve these tunnels through these massive boulders? Was it needed, or you can go just around these structures and it makes no sense to carve these huge boulders to make passages?
Yeah, I suppose I've never really thought about that. It is because you had to go all the way up the mountain from where our hotel was in Cuzco. We went up quite a ways, and then we had to get out and then hike even further, which the hike wasn't too bad. But it's like the top of this hill in the area we're at, and you get to the top of there, and then you goes into these rocks. Some of them looks like there was where they carved out the chunks of rocks for building their the walls or structures. But these tunnels just kind of zigzag through. And I know there's one part in this where you can see there's a tunnel that went down deeper. It was a really small hole. And we figured we're not going down there. And I think they figure these tunnels up here are connected to the other what they call the chincanas down by Sacsayhuaman that they've been digging up. But I mean, I don't know if it's natural. If they carve these out, you can tell some spots have definitely been altered by human hands like that. But yeah, and I know there's more of them around there like that. That's a little hole that kind of goes down deeper. A little shaky.
So you say that some of these can be natural and then enhanced by man instead of completely carved from one side to the other of the rock?
Yeah, because I don't see the reason to carve something out like 10 feet high or 15 feet high all the way through without a real destination in hand. So, I don't know.
Oh, look at those square. Look at that.
They're everywhere like that. Just chunks taken out of the rock everywhere. I don't know if this is where we had the
And
big
there's
one.
no tool marks, right?
Not really, no. There's hardly anything. Yeah, another hole down there. Yeah, there's the big ones.
Look at that.
No, those look like the quarry
like
in China.
The hypogeum, in Malta.
Yeah, and in the quarry in China, you have that huge. I can't remember the name of the quarry.
The floating. Are you talking about the floating?
No,
rock,
no.
Longyu caves.
Yeah, young something where you see those squares carved into with huge knobs.
Yeah, this is just it's weird. It makes no sense.
And
no, it doesn't.
It doesn't look. It touched the ground on there.
No, yeah,
it almost looks upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
From that perspective, it's just very odd.
Yeah, perfectly straight cuts. No, I'll try to find those steps. Yeah, no, we went all over the place down there. We went to Machu Picchu. I think the Corcacha was one. We went Aliante Tumbo. It was
I forgot to say, for those that don't know, Michael Collins is the Wandering Wolf. So
I thought I said the Wandering Wolf.
Some people might not know him for his name.
So I saw, it was doing one of his live streams earlier, Jeff. You got tickets to the event they're doing in December, right?
I did. Yeah, so I'll be back from Egypt for a week, and then I'll be heading to Arizona. So luckily,
you got a busy stretch coming up, bro.
Yeah. So luckily,
your boss must be very happy with you.
Yeah, the boss is my father, so he hasn't really said much yet. But no, luckily we wind down this time of year. It's deer season, so we usually go out to a hunting camp this time of year until mid-December. So the only thing I'm really going to miss instead of work is maybe getting a deer, which I can live with that if I'm going to do all this stuff.
Yeah, dude.
You're going to trade killing a deer for going to Egypt? I don't understand your mentality.
Oh, he's going to Egypt, and then he's going to where's the event? I forget. It's
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Scottsdale, Arizona, to hang out with all the cool kids, So I'd skip murdering Bambi's mom to go pull on Dan Richards' beard and play with Wandering Wolf's drone. I mean, playing coy over there, man. You got blessings coming out of your ass, dude.
But just for the record, I think you can only kill the males, right?
Up here, yeah. But anywhere else, they have doe tags and buck tags. But because down in the farmland, they're more of a nuisance animal than they are a game animal.
There's so many of them down here. Yeah, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
Ricardo, you hop in your car in the middle of the night, right now, this time of year down here, and you've got to be a pro at avoiding deer. I mean, they're literally
Yep.
everywhere.
Used to be like that up here, but now the overhunting and wolves moved in.
Hmm.
But
Well, I never saw so much roadkill as I did when I was traveling through uh, the UP.
Another
Especially-
upside down looking one.
Yeah,
Yep.
especially the days,
look at
the
that.
last 2 days, just so much roadkill. It's
Mhm.
and I don't see any shards, no pieces of glass of cars, headlights, anything. It's just the carcass putting out of the road. So there must be someone going up and down the road and just pushing the carcasses out and cleaning the road. I don't know, because there should be headlights, broken glass, something.
You passed the opportunity for an armadillo fajita, man. I can't believe that. That's
Yeah.
Roadkill, that's the best type. Yeah.
I've seen the armadillo cooked. It's not a pretty looking affair.
No. Mm.
No.
Did it
Yeah, we
taste
had
good
a-
anyway?
I did not partake, bro. I did
I was
not
gonna say we
partake.
had guinea pig when we were down here too. That was a new interesting one, guinea pig. It's actually not
I've
half
heard-
bad.
Just listening to armadillos walk, man, is now you don't want to eat them. That armor, you can hear it clinking. It sounds
Really?
like a freaking machine, dude. Yeah.
Wow.
I've got a bunch of siding in my yard, little plastic siding, right, for the bed edges.
Mhm.
And because there's woods all around, armadillos are constantly coming through the yard. And yeah, man, you'll be sitting out there at night and just hearing them scraping over the plastic edging.
No kidding.
Who wants to go kill that, peel the shell, and eat it? No.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah,
What's
I
the
mean,
purpose of that? I could imagine a purpose
everywhere.
like I carved that to take that block of stone and take it somewhere. But aren't that pieces of
What
stone
is that?
closer?
this is something that no one ever talks about down there. I had no idea this existed until we got there. It almost looks like it's like a old lava flow or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I've seen this.
This is-
Water slide.
Yeah. Oh yeah, people slide down here all the time. It's
You've been there, yeah. I've
Their
seen
friend-
some pictures of
our
that.
friend
yeah.
Sophie. Yeah.
And I guess that's explained as a natural feature.
Yeah. I've never heard any explanation about it, to really be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't think there would be one
Looks-
readily available.
Looks
Right,
like
those are our tour
petrified
guide.
water.
Yeah. It is weird.
That is so strange. That's like cart ruts on steroids.
Yeah. It looks like it flows all the way across the whole mountainside or cliffside that we're on, and we're on opposite end of where Sacsayhuaman, the fortress itself, is. This is on the backside.
Did you visit that place that the it looks like the pieces of a puzzle that are just scattered about, like the H, the letter H?
Oh
Some
yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah. Oleante Tumbo.
That is, Jason, the best example that I can think of some massive catastrophe, because no
Let me try to
invading
find a good
army
picture of it.
would be able to do that kind of destruction. So
Yeah. So if we find a straight-on picture, that's definitely old and rebuilt.
Whoa, yeah. Working with a lot of timelines there.
Yeah.
See, what is that?
Yeah.
What?
This is just a courtyard full of pieces they didn't know where they went.
Freaking little echo chambers carved in stone.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like pieces from the inside of the hypogeum. Having not been,
I mean,
that's just what my mind keeps seeing.
look
It's
at-
like somebody blew up the hypogeum.
Yeah. I mean, look at this one. It's all. Here, actually, I can full screen. Oh, maybe. It's got like different notches and nubs and. I mean, look at that little guy.
Pieces of something, Jeff. That's what I see, Pieces of something.
I think it's such a different culture that the purpose escapes us, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes we hear the purpose and we think it's fantasy. For instance, when I read Tolkien for the first time and they speak about these chairs of stone on top of hills where they sit down to and look at the kingdom, I thought, well, it's a interesting thought in terms of fantasy. And then when I start looking into history, I start finding that this city of thrones, especially in the indigenous communities of North America, they are quite common. They have these seats on top of hills and in specific places where people would would sit down to receive illumination or show domination over the land.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fantasy.
I think it
Just a
doesn't make
difference.
sense to us because it's pieces. I mean, I don't think we see a whole. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm looking at all those little odd cavities, no matter how big the stone is, you got that big one with all the different notches in it. None of it seems to make sense on its own, right?
No. Let's see if I
You know,
can.
it seems as though I'm just not glimpsing the whole, you know.
It's just like buying three puzzles with no images, scrambling the three puzzles together and then throwing them
Right.
to the floor, right? It is
Well, and then
just-
giving it a couple of thousand years for trees and grass and wind and water to grow over
Yeah.
it, and yeah,
Like this one, this is like that weird HI stone.
that's so wild.
It's just weird
The
blocks with,
precision.
yeah, big chunks out of that. And then there's little scoops out of the backside of that one too.
Mhm.
It's just goofy. Yeah, you can see even right here. It seems like there's different types of construction between
Yeah,
these
yeah.
two. They
It
needed
does.
this upper one, you know, and then down below. So it's definitely something that's Though this has been repaired, you can tell. But if I could find the straight on picture of it, that's when I was on it. Maybe this can do it. But it looks like this whole side over here collapsed and wiped out this whole area here. If I can't find the full on picture, but it looks like that side of the mountain came down and just wiped out. Because the stuff over here is all newer than what's on the area where I'm standing, where it's all built. It's all newer. It's smaller blocks, smaller technology.
So those stairs are ancient?
These are steps. I assume they are, but not as old as the rest. These ones, not so ancient.
Right, yeah.
No, I mean the big ones,
But
the
the
big
ones that
steps.
are covered, yeah.
Yeah, because they look like concrete in color. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. No, it's a weird place. I'll tell you what.
That's so wild.
There's stuff everywhere.
Yeah. Echoes of something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is on the backside of it was like an 8-foot by 3-foot block. There's 3 squares cut in the back of it.
Doesn't look to be in his original position either.
No, big old crack on there too. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird place. I'll tell you what. There's
So
something, a lot of mystery.
Yeah, there is. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
So, what are your projects for your channel in the future? What are you planning to do?
Well, so I didn't make a video last week because I was working on the video that I'm going to release tomorrow. Hopefully, get it done tonight after this. I'm covering the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, the ore ship that sunk in 1975 on Lake Superior, because Monday is the 50th anniversary.
Oh,
So I wanted to put that out there because it's part of Upper Michigan history. It's not ancient or not, you know. I don't want to
Still,
just do only just one type of thing, you know, that pertains to like Michigan, the Great Lakes area. So I got that.
That's so cool, man. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Somebody referenced the Edmund Fitzgerald the other day, and this is no joke. I remember making a mental note. You know, I actually don't know a lot about the Edmund Fitzgerald. So here we go. I can look forward to this. That's awesome.
and
Yeah.
you can look into the work of Bob Kuprick. He was on the convention too. Is the gentleman with the walker, if you remember. He also presented. I think he presented after me, or before me. He presented before me.
Yeah, he was talking about the diving.
Yeah,
correct?
so he has lots of information about this sunken ships all over the Great Lakes, and one of them, particularly, and Jason, you'll find this interesting because Jeff heard this, is that one of the boats that they found sunk, right? Each time they get there, all of their instruments get scrambled, right? So. And when they went to dive, the coastal guard immediately appears and says, "This is forbidden area. You can't be here." So what they did was they covered this ancient ships that doesn't fit the paradigm of what kind of ship should be in the lake, and they cover it with nets, and things grow on top of it, and it gets complete. It doesn't exist. And then they put these
No shit.
scrambles. They put scrambles. Signal scramblers on these ships, so when they go into there to try to record the GPS signal and to know where to dive and where it is, everything gets scrambled. So it's all done by the authorities, all done by the I don't know
Coast
how to call
Guard.
it. The
Coast Guard
government,
allegedly,
whatever.
yeah. Then
So-
and there was one spot. Sorry to. Oh, sorry. to cut you
Go
off
on,
there.
please,
Okay, yeah.
please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there was one spot he was talking about around Isle Royal where they wanted to dive, and the Coast Guard and whoever else, someone else from the government said, "No, you cannot dive here. It's too many commercial fishermen. he said they're on Isle Royal in front of that spot for 3 days, didn't see a single boat. So, and I think I know the spot he's talking about because on Google Earth there's a weird anomaly off the shore of Isle Royal. It's weird. Actually,
It's
Really?
completely hidden because it's probably a ship from an age
Probably
that
gone by
shouldn't
now.
be there.
Yeah, right.
So
In a locker somewhere.
yeah,
The Smithsonian sent the Coast Guard to get it. And
no, they say it's for preservation. Yeah, I think he indicated that
Yeah.
in the presentation.
yeah,
They-
why
they
wouldn't you
did-
want to know?
Yeah. And he says it's going to be preserved by what? By the water destroying it continuously until we can't find anything out there.
Right.
So
What is that? Yeah, that's weird.
it's an anomaly, yeah.
That's
the bill.
Yeah, I bet you they probably
What
drew
does
the
that look
border
on
for
the north?
Canada.
Zoom in on the north side of it. Is that like a little inlet on the rim? Yeah.
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 No.
You have to understand that the lakes were at a certain point much lower and another point much higher than they are today. So
Right.
there are structures that from the period where it's lower and there are structures on the period it was higher. And
I
I-
see.
I
Yeah,
could-
that whole island.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I could actually
around
see
it.
where I was. I could also actually see the ridge of the maximum level of the water, right? And it's 2 times my height in certain points. So it used to be really higher than it is today at certain point. But also lower. It all depends on the time that you're looking for. It only complicates things when you're trying to find what really happened on those places in historical times, because the water level kept changing,
Yeah,
and they just adapted to it. Yeah,
Yeah, there are full forests under Lake Superior. Full grown forests that are submerged by water by hundreds, if not maybe thousand feet. And it's so cold that the bacteria doesn't really eat biological beings so much. That's why they can find this stuff. Even like the shipwrecks and stuff are preserved for a lot longer because of how cold the water is. So
That
there's
is
always
so
that chance
cool.
that you can find. There's chance that maybe a extremely ancient ship could be found in really good
If
condition.
we're going
yet,
to find
if
an
it's at
old
the bottom of the
shipwreck, it
lake.
would be there, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well-
That's wonderful.
it was spoken in the late 1990s and the 2000s, and the last thing I spoke about it, I think it was Brent Miller in his documentaries,
Are you just not leaving?
that you could find from Patagonia to Antarctica. There are huge forests on the bottom of the ocean, so linking the 2 continents. So huge frozen forests at the bottom of the ocean between Patagonia and Antarctica. And that was spoken on those times. I could find reference in several documentaries, but today it's just something that is not brought up because it shows that the Earth changes. So
We can't have that catastrophism.
you can have that.
Yeah.
you know.
Keep- Don't bring that
Gradualism.
catastrophism around here.
It's all gradualism.
Right. It's so funny, man.
Yeah.
The narrative blindness, you know.
Mm.
It's
Oh,
not funny. I mean, it's
No.
sad, but the fact that it literally just keeps so many people and so many people in charge of the story, as it were, from just being able to see all of these obvious things, you know. I mostly feel sorry for them. I honestly do, because as Ricardo started at the opening, the passion isn't there, but it's just, man, how can you be a human being that sees all these questions in front of us and all these exciting possibilities and anomalies? How do you not get excited about that? What's going on with your human experience here on this planet, man? That, you know, you're not excited about all of this stuff and what it could
Right.
mean.
It's they don't like us to say this, but it seems like it is just from fund to fund to fund, and you just serve the purpose of the
business.
grant. Yeah,
It's business
you
model.
move on to the next one. It's not your job to get into deep explanations, especially if
Right.
they enter into
Right.
metaphysical realms. It's just
Right.
take the measurements. It's 5 by 5, and there was this niche in it, and that's it. This pottery says it's from this date.
Now,
Next.
all those stones in Peru that look like something big ass came through and blew up in the sky, melted
Yeah.
it and scattered it everywhere.
Mhm.
Oh no, you know.
Yeah. Oh, they found those rocks that looked like that after millions and millions and millions of years of water erosion, and then they carved their own stuff out of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They just They wanted to make a seat on the funky aged rock. They wanted to be able to carve a little alcove to put their precious items in this strangely placed rock out in the middle of nowhere. Sure.
In 5,000 years, when they go and look into Europe, those cathedrals, those convents, those hugely carved monuments, they will look at it and say, just see how amazing nature is. Look at what erosion and water for 2,000 years could create. It looks just like a statue, right? Look at it. It looks like a cathedral, but it isn't. It's just nature that transformed all of this stone through time.
Well, you bring up a good point, Ricardo. Put you a bomb in the middle of one of those cathedrals, blow it up, give it 2,000 years of nature and time, and go back, and what would you find? You'd find a whole bunch of funky-looking rocks scattered all over the place with no explanation.
Nothing. Yeah. So I've said it many times. You leave a city unmanaged, no matter how evolved it is. You leave it unmanaged,
Nature.
right? And you'll start seeing nature moving on from the pavement, from the asphalt, almost instantly. So it has to be constant. Nature has to be constantly pushed back because it takes over. Right? In 10 years, you start having the first trees. In 100 years, every single building will be covered with some form of vegetation or other. You won't see the streets because it will be all full of dirt and leaves and compost materials. In 1,000 years, you can't recognize
nothing.
But the tall buildings that are now like
Happens like that,
natural
Ricardo.
structures. So
Yep.
it's
That's why
a miracle.
If I'm a business owner, what is probably one of my largest monthly recurring expenses, at least around here, is landscaping, and it's somebody coming to spray my weeds, right? It's constant attention. The second you quit putting your attention to nature, nature's going to do its thing.
You murderer! You are killing the weeds.
No,
Well, it's just like the center of my the center of my driveway. It's blacktop. It's been blacktop right 15 years by now, but
right.
there's a crack down the center, and if I don't spray weeds, it's going to grow up right through there and keep splitting it wider and wider, and eventually it's just going to tear it up. So
Yep.
When I was in the real estate business, I found houses that were abandoned for 15 years, and you couldn't get in there. The vegetation was everywhere. You know that the house is there because you have the deed, but there's no sign there is a house there. It's just vegetation. So it just consumes everything. So it's a miracle that we find anything in the archaeological record. Every single thing that we find is like a miracle that it survived and we can find it. Especially if it is human remains or wooden structures, or because stone endures, but we cannot see it from how many layers it is. I think that they recently found another place in Peru that it was 15 feet buried into the ground on top of the mountain. So how old it is? So
no kidding.
There is no landslide there because
I was
it's
gonna say,
on
there's
top
not-
of it.
Yeah,
It's on
there's not a
top
whole
of
lot
it.
of. Wow.
So it's another buried place.
Well, Jeff, I sat down with you thinking I was going to learn about Mission Copper, and I am getting up knowing that I now have a personal Egypt connection who I want to have back here in a month or two to tell us all about what you see and experience over there, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, we'll wait till after you get back from the conference so you can give us some skinny on what all you learned there as well.
So it was a
Go ahead,
pleasure
Ricardo.
having you here, Jeff.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Jeff.
That's been
Before we
that's
wrap,
good.
I want to just give you a second. This is sort of an open-ended question, man. Look, what I really appreciate, bro, is, as somebody myself who has gone to great effort, right, for my own reasons, right, to find all of this stuff and then sort of bring it forward. I like to just talk about the thing that Ricardo says is lacking so much, and we all agree, in the institutionalized or, academic version of what we do. They don't have what I think it is that must make people like you do what you do, which is some sort of love or passion for some qualities of what you're wanting to bring out, So I just wanted, as we wrap, to give you a second to speak on that, man. Just the passion, the drive, the whatever it is that's kind of kept you going in this and putting it out there for folks.
Yeah. So one of the reasons I did start doing the YouTube, not only was it all the research that Ricardo had done and brought forward, or just living in this area and always being curious about it, is there's not a whole lot you can really find online anywhere unless you have the right access to the right books or know what books to buy. And I mean, I spent 2-3 weeks, maybe actually a year after the first AAPS conference, just looking on YouTube online for anything on the ancient copper mining in Michigan, and I could only find a few breadcrumbs here and there. So I wanted to take what I could find and what I had access to, and just start making videos and sharing it with other people. And then I finally started going out in the woods, doing some hiking around, finding stuff, and I have an absolute blast when I'm out hiking in the woods, around the more modern copper mines, and then I find like an ancient mine pit or something like that. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, just knowing that I was able to read through any research I had, look through maps, and find the area that I was trying to find.
And you're trying to develop a underwater drone too, right?
Yeah, so the drone is now hanging up right here. It didn't survive.
Didn't survive.
Yeah, if you're not a very skilled pilot, don't fly it over a body of water with trees in it. I was flying over a beaver pond and clipped a tree branch.
Exactly what. That's why I haven't gotten a drone yet, man. That's exactly.
I haven't even got a new one
cool
yet.
But impossible shot. I'm going to try it.
Yep. So,
Jeff, while you were answering there, but I got, chills, really. I got some goosebumps, and I'm not old enough to be your dad, but the words that came to me were how proud I am, of you. Because what you said was what should be being said by these other people that are currently in charge of the story. Mm-hmm. You said you were curious and you wanted info, and you realized that, they're keeping the info from me. So I'm just going to go out here and get some info and make sure everybody else has it as well. And there's just no words for that. It's to be applauded, and I greatly appreciate it personally.
And his channel is quite unique in that aspect, so I strongly recommend everyone that hasn't followed Jeff or seen his content yet to go there and follow him and see what he has to offer, because you won't find
go
it.
Get some knowledge.
Appreciate it.
Get some knowledge and give the guy a big thank you for doing, with his own time, his own effort, his own toil, and his own energy, what the people were paying to do this shit should be doing.
There are no excuses, because Jeff works 7 days a week.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there are no excuses. Oh, I don't have time to do that stuff. Well,
yeah. I was just going to add too is maybe that's the difference is they have to do this where we get to do this.
It's true, Jeff. It's true. You're so true, because I think you're probably the same. We do feel the privilege, right? In being able to do this, whereas perhaps for them, it's just, it's what you have to do. It's your 9 to 5,
Right.
So it does make room for more passion.
I don't know.
I'm trying to turn it into a 9 to 5, bro. And I'm sure you're doing the same. And it sounds like you're well on your way. And congratulations for all that's going on with you. And I really can't wait to just hear about it all, man.
Yeah. We're going to see what happens. I got a busy, couple of weeks, so busy month coming up, and hopefully into the new year I can relax a little bit. And I think I'm gonna start doing streaming weekly on my channel, since I can't get out in the woods to find anything when there's 6 feet of snow on the ground.
Right.
That is my excuse. Yes.
Well, congratulations, brother. God continue to bless you and all that you're doing. And just take care of yourself, see to yourself over this busy span you've got coming up, and enjoy it. And we look forward to seeing you on the other side of it, man. See what all you learned.
Absolutely. So just let everyone know where they can find you once more.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at JeffUpNorth57 or on X under the same name. Those are pretty much the only two sites I use for anything, so...
Okay, and here we've got, I'll do a sign-off for us, Ricardo. We've got Jason and Ricardo here with the Institute of Natural Philosophy is what we really want to talk about. Go check out the Institute of Natural Philosophy, because what we're most interested in is who we're talking to right here with Jeff, with the independent researchers out here doing the real work. Go check out Universe Unveiled, our fellow podcast, and continue to check us out here at Shaman and Philosopher. We've got a busy week ahead. I think Ricardo has slammed us with 5 recordings, so plenty of material is coming your way. We're not sitting down. Folks have shown some interest, and we appreciate it, and we're gonna keep burning. You can find me at YouTube, Shaman711. Ricardo, where are you at, sir?
Well, I'm at Ricardo Calvary 1, because they didn't accept my name on there, so it's Ricardo Calvary 1 on X, and it's History, Myths and Legends on YouTube. And don't forget, of course, our channel, the Institute for Natural Philosophy on YouTube, where these videos are all posted from the Shaman and the Philosopher. So find us there.
And if you are like Jeff and you are an independent researcher, find us because we want to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Till next time.
See ya.